I know I've said this before, but I really mean it this time. This could be the best weekend for games ever! So let's get right to it, starting with the Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton. And here are the facts, and I'll give you 3 for each club. 1, Liverpool are undefeated in their last 18 games at home against Everton in all competitions. But 2, they're gonna be without Adam Lallana, Daniel Sturridge, a really good goalkeeper because they don't have a really good goalkeeper, maybe even Jordan Henderson, and potentially Coutinho and Robbie Firmino because they are flying back from South America for World Cup qualifying, and that's a long trip. But 3, and I can't do that one because I don't have any, I've got terrible, it's gonna be arthritis or something. I've got no flexibility in my hands. Anyway, but 3, they have Sadio Mane, and that may be all they need since he already scored a game winner against Everton at Goodison Park earlier this season. As for Everton, 1, they've only lost once since Christmas, which was a 3-2 loss on the road to Spurs, which is really nothing to feel down about because Spurs is pretty good this season, unless you think Spurs are crap, and then maybe you would feel bad about it. And 2, their best player, Romelu Lukaku, is in top form, and he is ultra dangerous in the last 10 minutes of every game. Seems to score a bunch of goals then, so Liverpool's gonna have to stay switched on, which isn't really their strong suit, so we'll see how it goes. But 3, they too have some injuries. Rest in peace to Seamus Coleman's leg. I've seen a broken leg happen right in front of me before. It is terrible on all levels. It takes a long time to recover from, so I wish him the best. But for Everton, the players that they're going to be missing aren't as integral to their team as they are to Liverpool and the players that they're going to be missing. So my prediction's going to be, well, because Liverpool have a tendency to play to the level of their opponents, that is great news because Everton is one of the hottest teams in the league. So this is how it's going to play out. Coutinho's going to come on as a super sub because he couldn't start the game because of heavy legs after a long flight, and he's going to score the game winner. And Liverpool are going to be 3 points closer to solidifying their top 4 status. And up next, it's the Riviera derby between Schalke and Borussia Dortmund. With all due respect to Super Bayern Munich, Dortmund's biggest rivals and most important game of the season is against a club that wears blue. And this blue club is going to do everything in their power to win this game, especially since they're hosting it and they don't want to be showing up at home, and because they don't want their rivals Dortmund to finish in the top 3 in the league while they sit in 9th, 4 points out of the last Europa League spot. So taking all this into consideration and the fact that Schalke have been playing as well as they have all season with 2 straight league wins and advancing into the quarterfinals of the Europa League against Ajax, while Dortmund have only won once on the road in their last 4 games and look to have a much tougher schedule ahead than Schalke does, I think that's just going to take its toll, either physical or mental or both, and Schalke's going to win this one 3-2. And now we head to Italy for Napoli versus Juventus, or as I like to call it, the former team and current team of Gonzalo Higuain derby. You guys feeling that one? Maybe? No, okay, how about this? Or as I like to call it, a Napoli team that thinks they have an outside chance to win the league versus a Juventus team that knows that Napoli has no chance because 5 straight Scudettos, bitches. Okay, fine, try this one instead. Or as I like to call it, the former team of Diego Maradona versus the former team of Paul Pogba. Actually, that's not even a fair comparison because Maradona, Pogba. Fine, you know what? I'll just give you my prediction now, and I'm gonna say Napoli won, Juventus won, and 3rd place Napoli will gain 0 ground on 1st place Juve, and most likely lose ground to 2nd place Roma because Roma's gonna beat Empoli, and then all the good vibes they had for drawing with the best team in Italy is gonna mean nothing, absolutely nothing. And that must suck. And next up is the El Clasico derby between Benfica and Porto. So let me paint this picture for you. Benfica has won the league the last 3 seasons, which has to be cause for embarrassment for their biggest rivals, Porto. But with 8 games left to go, Porto are only 1 point behind them. So this is it. This is the biggest game of the season. And has me screaming made you understand how important this game is? So my prediction is going to be that this game will determine who wins the league. If Benfica wins, then they're going 4 points clear at the top, and no one is catching them on their way to becoming the Juventus and Bayern Munich of Portugal, which is where the same team wins the league every season. Boring. So Porto has to do this on the road for themselves and for us neutrals. So come on, Porto. You have to win this game. Make the Portuguese league interesting again. And now it's time for the Classica between Ajax and Feyenoord. And this one is easy. Ajax, who are in 2nd place and sit 6 points behind Feyenoord in the table with 7 games to go, have to win this game or it's done, it's finished, it's over, and they're not gonna do it. because Feyenoord is the better team this season. So I think this one finishes 2-2. Also, here are two other games I'll be keeping my eye on this weekend, starting with Toronto FC and my beloved Sporting Kansas City. And to give us some insight on two of the last 4 undefeated teams that are left in the early part of the season in Major League Soccer, it's Previews and Predictions Correspondent Adrian from Rabona TV. Take it away, Adrian.
Giovinco is playing after 2 weeks injured. Altidore isn't injured, but played 172 minutes for the USA. They'll want him out there, though, as he's hot right now with 2 goals in 3 appearances, which is all that SKC has managed this season, despite averaging a league-leading 14.7 shots per match. Toronto hasn't beaten SKC since 2013, and in their last 5 matches, Kansas has won 4 and drawn 1. Now, perhaps most importantly, this is the 8-year, 11-month, 6-day anniversary where just behind me, a young Jimmy Conrad got a yellow card for berating a linesman. Now, they say that if you listen very carefully in BMO Field, you could still hear the echoes of his shouts haunting any linesman who dares get a call wrong. So, with that being said, Toronto's gonna win 2-1, and there's gonna be 1 disallowed goal in this match. Thank you so much. Take care.
What? Me berating the referee? Never! That must have been Mina, or I must have been shouting it in the air like Messi did, or what he claimed that he did. Also, you wrote your prediction wrong, Adrian. It's supposed to read Sporting Kansas City 2, Toronto FC 1. And finally, we're talking a little Arsenal versus Manchester City with Simon, my pal from the Q&A, who correctly predicted that Barcelona would come back and beat PSG, so obviously he was a natural fit for Previews and Predictions.
Arsenal is currently on the 4th version, or maybe more, of the Wenger Out series.
Wait, stop. I love this. The 4th version, or maybe more, of the Wenger Out series. This is gold. Keep going.
And I think that it might be his second last season for Arsenal, because he's just gonna win the cup and get another extension, and then he's gonna lose the job to Patrick Vieira.
Winning the cup, getting an extension, and then losing his job to Patrick Vieira. Simon, I love you. All I wanted was a score prediction, and now you're bringing the heat.
On the other hand, we have a very strong Manchester City side who is probably just gonna beat them. So I'm gonna say 2-1 to Manchester City.
Nice prediction, Simon. I like where your head is at. So if you get this scoreline correct, I'll let you come back on this show again next week. If not, you are out. And maybe somebody else can jump in and have this opportunity. Good luck. All right, that is it. That is all I got. Have a good weekend, everyone. Later.